this one's probably gonna date me, but do you all remember that SpongeBob episode where he was like so nice to everyone and couldn't say no that he bought like a double-sided green face guy who kind of sounded like your average New Yorker?
Afraid not, Schnozword.
After getting the Misfortune Teller, I thought to myself that maybe, just maybe, that was what inspired people at Spirit Halloween or at YJ or whatever to make the Misfortune Teller swap her head around. Because you think about it, it's pretty much the same thing. Like, you have a nice person on the one side, and then flip it to the mean side. And it's funny because it's even green. Like, SpongeBob's carpet face guy was green, and then the Misfortune Teller's evil side was green. And if you look at the dates for, like, when the TV show aired, the timeline kind of adds up and makes sense. So in the back of my mind, I just think to myself that Spirit Halloween employees were really into SpongeBob and totally was inspired by that episode to make the Misfortune Teller. I got the Misfortune Teller from Spirit Halloween, but as you can see, it is totally covered in tape. So let's fix that. I didn't get all of the tape off because I noticed that the box could use some like restructuring in here, especially on the back. There's a little bit of a looseness flap over here. So I'm going to keep the tape on for the time being. Oh, and there's also a little gash right here. It's okay though. But right here you can see the main point, the Misfortune Teller from Spirit Halloween 2013. This is the last one that is needed to complete the whole clown train. I have every single one. With the exception that my dead humor doesn't work currently, but I'm hoping to have it fixed by next year. But this one is definitely going to get used in this carnival this year. So let's take a closer look. This one just popped up on Facebook Marketplace for $100, and I do think it works fully to my understanding here. But let's just take a look at what's inside first. I'm very excited to say that most of the stuff seems like it's in really good condition. Starting off right here, you have the double-sided head. This thing has so much detail and just attention to detail in it that it's truly amazing. But here is the evil side. This is a YJ item, so you can tell by the light-up eyes just how they look. A lot of gashes and stuff in it. I like the green color. It's pretty creepy looking. And then if we turn it over to the main fortune teller side, rather, you can see here, look at the eyes. They look pretty realistic. They're not like painted. They look like they're actual like plastic or something, or glass or marble or something. It's pretty nice. There's earrings on this thing. They're like brass plated or something. The makeup, you got the light blue above the eyes, and the lipstick, probably most likely a little lipstick on the lips. Even have some pink blushing, I think that's what they call it, on the cheeks as well. So overall, a very nice paint job, very colorful, which is nice. You don't see that a lot in the Halloween world. And then you got this red, like, cap sort of a thing that's like almost metallic in the finish. There's some sheen and glimmer to it. And then you can see all the wiring that comes off the back here. Moving on, we have just an absurd amount of poles. And it's just ridiculous how many poles there are. I hear that this thing's a pain to put together, so I'm ready for it. You could just see the large amounts of metal poles. Some of the connectors have cracked, but I feel like we will be able to figure something out there to fix that stuff. There's a bag of spare parts. Not sure necessarily if this is actually spare parts or not. We'll see. We'll soon find out. Right here is the piece of wood with the crystal ball. I did have to do some cleaning up here. The problem right here was that the old connector, some of the wires were getting pulled out, so I had a replacement. Hopefully I wired it correctly. I guess we'll find out. But this is just a piece of plywood. You got the ball, and then you got some spotlights to shine on her, the red and the whites. There's some skulls in here. I don't think these are original to her, but they were in there, so maybe I'll use them. I don't know. Here's her Try Me button along with like the bracket that mounts to it. It works. Then here you have the Misfortune Teller's body. The arms seem pretty just loose. They're not too posable. There's no posability in the actual hands themselves, but the latex is nice, and you can see there's a whole bunch of like rings of like rubies and jewels on her fingers. The clothing also has that red metallic like material as well. Here's the other hand. You can see again a whole bunch more rubies and jewels, and again a colorful paint scheme. Here you have her adapter. For those of you wanting to know, it's a 6-volt 2-amp. It just looks a little odd compared to everything else we see, but it's got the female plug end as well. Here's a part that might actually come in useful this time. You have the instruction sheet, and basically it just tells you how to put the cage together, or the booth rather, how to put her on. And it looks like the body is supposed to already be mounted to the piece of wood, so I'll probably have to do that. And then you just put the fabric on, which is the next thing I'll pull out, and then the button, and then it should be set. When not in use, stored neatly in a dry, cool location protected from sunlight. YJ was ahead of their time. They knew the detrimental effects the sun causes on latex. And then here we have the booth itself with all the wording and stuff. We'll look at that later when it's all set up to get a better idea of what it looks like. Okay, so just reading off the instructions here. One poly bag contains 20 pieces of plastic components, which are marked 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 respectively. So okay. So these parts are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and whatever. And then there's an activation button, one button component, 88 small screws, 6 pieces of big screws, 1 set screw with a nut, spare parts, fabric cover, and then 1 AC adapter in a small box. So you probably had to put all these screws in and then connect all of these poles with these pieces. That's insane. And then here you can see like this one's broken. There's the bottom part's missing. Not sure exactly what I'll do about it, but I'm sure I'll figure something out. Probably just somehow zip tie it in for now. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. Well, according to this, it looks like we just have to put the frame together, so I guess I'll just time-lapse it maybe? Okay, so here we go. The main frame has been put together. I'm happy to say that I only have one that is busted, and that is this one, so I put it up on the top. But it still locks in nicely because there's this part right here that kind of holds it in. So even though it's missing that one little square, it's still holding it in. And I figured since it's up here, it probably doesn't have to hold a lot of the weight and stuff. So I just thought that would be a good idea. I also put in the base here, and I think I have to screw in the body now, even though I'm not supposed to originally. I don't think it came disassembled, but I think the previous owner just did that for whatever reason. But I put the silver screws in here because the silver screws was what was in here in the first place. And then I got the black screws, which are slightly smaller with their diameter of the washer. But I guess those go in there because my one thought is that I only have 4 of the black screws, and then I got 2 extras of the big ones, so it makes me think like, oh, these are replacement parts. So I would figure that the black ones are the ones that would go on her if she was never supposed to come apart. So that's my process of elimination, I guess. But I'll just put that together, I guess, right now. Okay, so I did finish that. That is mounted in. But now we're going to tidy up her clothing, and I'm going to plug in all of the plugs for her. So she's got basically 2 that come out here. You've got one for the crystal ball and the lights surrounding it. And then you got the one for the button, which I don't think we put on yet. But now we take the head module here, and we're supposed to put the head on where the green evil head is facing backwards. I've seen people where they put it on the wrong way, and then that causes problems with the head spinning. It like spins backwards, or talks backwards rather. But I'm actually going to probably plug this in first. It might be easier. Okay, that's plugged in, so then we're just going to like tuck it around, or attempt to. There's just so many wires in here for the head movement, which you got to understand and makes sense. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. You got like the spin motor, 2 mouth motors, so it gets a pass. But then you've got to like take the screw here and slide it in the back, get it all to line up. Okay, I got it first try. And then put the nut on the back to lock it in place. And then an important thing is to not put the like clothing around the actual neck. That could potentially cause it to get caught up and fry out something potentially. So there's like a little lip that goes around the whole neck piece that you like kind of just put the clothing over to hide it. So it's the cleanest transition it can possibly be. But there she is. She's coming along nicely. Now we got to put the fabric on. So hopefully I set everything up right and that just goes on like a piece of cake. Okay, so I got it all set up. Mainly here I got the cloth on. It looks very nice. The last thing we got to do is take the button mount, which is this L-shaped bracket right here, and we're just going to line this up with the 2 small holes in the front and just screw it down. And this is what mounts the button in place. I put the screws with the bigger washer on because it looked like it went together more nicely. The last thing here is to take the wire, run it through the hole, and pull it out on the other side like this. And then we're going to take the button, run it through the cloth here, and just get it to mount in place, which can be a little difficult. I'll do it off camera. All right, she is plugged in. I put the button on. It is all wired up. Let's see it work. Here we go.
Come, hear your fate if you dare. With knowledge comes peril, so you must beware. Press the button to hear your fortune.
Then I go to press the button.
Misfortune is your only fortune. Riches, wealth, gold and jewels. Brilliant are the dreams of fools.
And to make her go to the other sayings, you have to press the button multiple times.
Misfortune shall be your fortune. One whose heart is cold and black has placed a target on your back.
I think she's got one more saying.
Yours is only misfortune. Your dreams will fail as they must before they crumble into dust.
How cool is that? I'm going to go shut her off, and I'll get back to you. Welcome back. For you, it's probably just a cut in the video, but actually this, for me, is like a month's time has passed. Halloween is over, and I never got around to finish filming a video on her. So I'm going to pick up right where I left off. I wanted to talk about her fabric and all the detail that she has. There's a lot of detail that's going on in just the fabric itself if you start looking closely. Just like right at the top, you have all seeing, all knowing, and you have like an eyeball. And I'm sure that symbolizes something in terms of like fortune telling. And then there's a bunch of stars on the corners of here. And then like the banner, there's like the whole banner that swiggles back and forth like that. And just moving downwards, you can see like it says press here. And you got the red button that's mounted. Doesn't really work at night because you can't see that. And then you have what people usually call her Madame Morbida. Again, with a banner that spans across the whole canvas. And then the saying down here says, "Step forward, mortal, if you are bold, and I shall tell you what your future holds. Come, hear your fate if you dare. With knowledge comes peril, so you must beware. Sound familiar? Because that's exactly what she's saying when she provokes you to press the button. I know her audio quality isn't quite the best, but nonetheless, that is what it's saying, she's saying rather. Looking at the side here, you got like more stars. Again, that eye is on every corner, or every side rather. You got this like opening, like a mirror of some sort with like a moon and some more stars and like almost like a optical illusion sort of a thing right here. And then looking down, you have misfortunes. Gaze into your future. It says something else on the other side, which I will spin it around. But first, let's look at the back again. Nothing really much on the back here. It just says Madame Morbida again. And then moving up, though, you got like the hand with the eye. Again, symbolism. Not sure exactly what it means, but I'm sure it has some sort of meaning in the fortune-telling realm. And then you got all-seeing, all-knowing once again with the eye. And then moving to the final side. Trying to be gentle here because those plastic connections are probably very brittle. Don't want to end up breaking them. But here, it looks very similar to the other side that we just looked at. But at the bottom, misfortunes. See what lies beyond is different from what the other saying was on the other side. Not sure if I already filmed this, but look at all her detail on just her clothing in general. You got all these rings, and you can take these rings off. They are just like some sort of like press fit, so you could take them off if you wanted to. I loosened some up a bit because they were like kind of pinching on the latex, and I wasn't too happy with that. But the paint job on the hands look really good. You got the blue veins, blue up on the fingernails. It looks like the color that they use for the makeup is pretty much the same color. You got the blue, and then there's some pink on the nails. Moving up, the lipstick. I think I already talked about that, but like the cap and the gold embroidering right here. Another thing I think I failed to mention at the beginning, or before rather, was that this comes up and it like hides the neck bracket mount, so you can't even see that now. And that goes around basically the whole part of the head, and it doesn't catch on the spinning mech, which is good, and it just looks like a part of her outfit, so that works really well. But yeah, very detailed. This is probably the most detailed piece I have. But that is what I really wanted to show you all, just the detail. Now I think we're going to go to a nighttime demo to see what her lighting does. For her, she is a very independent prop when it comes to lighting. There's a few things that I would probably want to do to improve upon it. I would really like to shine Madame Morbida and her Assane and the press here part. I'd like to get some lights to shine on that at night because no one really saw that. But she has her spotlights here and here that shine onto her, as well as the ball does a good job of shining light too. But yes, let's get to that right now.
Come, hear your fate if you dare. With knowledge comes peril, so you must beware. Press the button to hear your fortune. Misfortune is your only fortune. Riches, wealth, gold, and jewels. Brilliant are the dreams of fools. Misfortune shall be your fortune. One whose heart is cold and black has placed a target on your back. Yours is only misfortune. Your dreams will fail as they must before they crumble into dust.
So something that's pretty cool about her, or interesting rather, is so how she works is so much different compared to any other animatronic, because usually you just have a sensor that activates, but for her, she has the sensor to activate to give you the press the button saying, and then she has 3 alternate sayings after that. To activate those sayings, you have to actually press the button itself. Unfortunately, I wish there was some sort of a randomization of the 3 sayings, so it wasn't the same one that would activate the first time you press the button. Because it goes in those 3, the way the sayings are is how they are. There's no randomization to it. So That's a downside for her because you have to like actually rapid fire the button in order to get the next sayings, which doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know if there's like a limitations in coding or whatnot. With the button, she'll activate on her like press the button saying first.
Come,
Right.
you think if you dare.
But what I wish would have happened is that then you can press this button to activate her, but she doesn't. You have to still press the try me button for her to go through her next saying.
Misfortune is your only fortune.
I feel like there should have been some sort of an option, like a switch or something, but this is getting real technical. But I wish the try me function could activate her, the normal humanoid saying, and then the button would still be able to activate the rest of her sayings. There might be ways around that if I'm being honest, and I'm kind of thinking of one right this moment. It's something to test actually. But nonetheless, it's very cool how she operates, and it's what separates her from really anything else, because there isn't anything in the modern day market or even things of the past that have this sort of just interaction with. You had Zoltan, but Zoltan doesn't give you like a saying to entice you to press the button. So that's what makes her different from other fortune-telling props. I know Home Depot made something, but I'm not sure how that one worked necessarily. But this is the best, hands down. But that is all from me. I want to say thank you all very much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you so choose to. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.
Come, hear your fate if you dare. With knowledge comes peril, so you must beware. Press the button to hear your fortune.